Good morning, everyone. Especially I thanks to Dr. Dheeraj Mehrotra from India. Dr. Dheeraj is a Indian school principal, and in addition to that, he is a national awardee, an author, and master trainer. In addition to that, we know him very well because he is a global leader for education. He has introduced a lot of new ideas, new concepts, new strategies to develop the education sector, not only the Sri Lanka, not only the India, for all the South Asian countries we can apply. Not only the South Asian countries, his ideas, his concepts, his approaches are globally we can use. Those concepts, those strategies are very important to every country, to every citizen. If someone want to develop his or her child as a 21st century person, to develop the 21st century skills, we have to concern about the Dr. Dheeraj approaches, new concepts. He has introduced a lot of new concepts. Today I am very happy as a South Asian Institute. We are very happy because we can get his experience, his knowledge, and his best practices with our students. And in addition to that, I invited our friends from Bangladesh and from the Nepal also. I think very good morning, and I think we can get their ideas, their experience, and how they concern about the ethics of the teachers in education system. And in addition to that, I very happy to announce in this moment we established association, this non-profit making association, to develop the ECCL sector in the South Asian countries. And we appointed Dr. Dheeraj as chairman of the board of advisory. And I think we can get a lot of advice from him how to direct our organization to achieve the sustainable developments 4.2 quality early childhood education. As South Asian countries, as the people in the South Asian countries, I think our organization will make a good platform to us to work together to share our experience and how we have to think how can we achieve 21st century skills and SDG goals as a team. And I warmly invite Dr. Dheeraj Mehta to start his valuable lecture. Thank you very much, sir. I'll make host you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Janaka. And it is really a great pleasure for me to be a part of this wonderful learning session. I believe that we all should connect, and COVID is just an excuse. We need to take it forward by learning and sharing our ideas. Our friends from Bangladesh, our friends from Nepal, and our friends from Sri Lanka. It's really great to have a connect, and we are looking forward to approaching that standard with a great viewpoint. Today, I'll be sharing some of the ideas which relates to the today's session on the move, wherein we look forward to getting to know about the ethics in teaching learning process. And this teaching learning process targets on what and why of quality teaching, quality learning, and how as an educator, it is important for all of us to get to know about the ethics of being a teacher. Well, as we know that COVID has given us a lot of challenges, lot many opportunities, and now the teaching has to be quite different. As we used to teach, we can't be teaching the very way. Now we are setting up with new normal, the new environment, the new demands from the side of the teachers, colleagues, the parents, and also the students in a big way. And for that purpose, we need to relate to the learning of the new order. The significance lies in professional ethics for teaching. Professional code of ethics need to be imbibed with the very measure of how we are going to be doing it in the best of the possible ways. Also, the spectrum lies in the professional code of conduct and the code of ethics of delivering the learning in the classroom. Well, as teachers, it is our prime responsibility to make the classroom learning a wow spectrum where the children enjoy, the teachers enjoy, and the parents look forward to sending their children to the school and to the online classes with the belief that they are going to be learning. So this learning is only possible when teachers also learn with the march of time. They can't be teaching, the same thing with yesteryear's knowledge. They can't be teaching with different formats altogether. They have been teaching over years. This is the new normal. This is the new defined approach where the children are the learners by themselves. And in order to know that, they need to be judgmental, they need to be given advice, they need to be, unconditionally be loved and taken care. As a modern educator, we need to look forward that we are vaccinated, we are aware of the protocols of the COVID, and we are also well equipped with all the learning we need to deliver with the march of time. As educators, we need to make commitment to education and professional development through being ethical. Now, there is a difference between being ethical and being sympathetic. We need to be learning to be ethical, following our duties, our approach, and delivering what we are actually engaged professionally for in the classrooms and in the deliberation, whether it's online class or an offline class. The awareness is very much important. We need to be aware of everything which is going on around, and we need to look forward to that very positive growth mindset. The fixed growth mindset, gone are the years. Now we need to think positive and have a growth mindset that every day I'm going to be a learner. Every day I'm going to be, learning something new to deliver in the classroom and also discuss with our colleagues. So that is going to be intelligence way of doing it, and it leads to the desire to learn, and therefore there is a tendency to embrace the change, persist despite the obstacles which come, see effort as a path to mastery, and learn from criticism. Also, there is a defined approach of being inspired by others to success. That is a reflection we need to adopt with the march of time for the new normal, for the learning and the excellence in education. The teachers need to adopt teaching profession which is more professional, rather than teaching the very old saying of A for apple, B for boy, and C for cat. We need to look forward to the new normal with the integration of A for Android, B for BlackBerry, and C for cloud. And that approach talks about the ikigai approach of the Japanese concept, where we tend to reflect on a reason for being, which talks about the passion, the mission, the vocation, and the profession, what you're good at and what satisfaction prevails, and how you feel about being comfortable, and the feeling of what you can do to be, bring delight and the fullness with the approach of your attributes. The spectrum also talks about learning as a priority. As teachers, we need to be on the view that whenever we get any WhatsApp message or anything which relates to education, before we forward it to our students or to other groups, we need to forward it to our head top. We need to learn something out of it. We need to explore something out of it. And that exploring is somewhat very important. Then for sure, a teacher is constantly under the security of his or her students and at large at the society, because when we're teaching today, for example, we are teaching and even the parents look out for this learning. It's all open. Earlier we were teaching within the four walls of the classroom, but today we are teaching outside where anyone can come in. It's all open on live, it's all open on YouTube, it's all open on stream live. So the knowledge delivery is not limited. you know Anyone can access the information, so we need to be widened in our horizon to deliver that learning as a priority. Also on the move, we know that the profession of teaching requires that the teacher should be calm, patient, and communicative, by temperament and amiable in disposition. So there's always hunt for a better knowledge, hunt for making your classroom innovative, creative, and you need to delve confidence while you're delivering the class. Because the children will only be enjoying the classroom if they feel that the teacher is confident in delivering the ideas and exploring, right? So that's very important. The reflection items, the professional guidance reflect on what all rules should be stayed. You know, the spectrum talks about the identity as role models for students, teachers follow the professional code of conduct. They also reflect on the code which ensures that students look forward to learning in the best of the possible ways. There's always like the priority should be putting the student first. Teachers must model strong character traits, including the perseverance, the honesty, and the priority. Also on the move, an educator must treat every student with kindness, respect. On the view, we need to show commitment on the job as a priority, need to promote safety, security, and acceptance, in the classroom. And also there is a reflection that the teacher to design lesson plans which meet the specific requirements in the classroom. Also on the move, we need to look out to promote and uphold the healthy relationship. Well, the idea is to foster the healthy relationship with students and above all the colleagues in particular. There is also a spectrum to look forward how best we are going to be doing it with reference to conducting demands, attentiveness in the classroom, and also the new research, we call it action research in the classroom. So that is again a very, very important feature which one has to conduct. The idea is to reflect on the idea of being an ideal teacher who is defined and operated on this mechanism of learning. The very spectrum talks about how best I'm going to be defining my classroom with the professional view. The idea is also to make sure that the teachers are responsible and they deliver what they have planned in the classroom. The next thing is about the professional growth and the continuous development. We believe in Kaizen, continuous development. And that approach talks about the very environment in the classroom in a defined manner. That comes with pride. And of course, all the teachers are, prepared for teaching with a new normal approach of defined. Then, of course, the teachers need to be forming a habit to express free and frank opinion by participating at the professional meetings, seminars, and this great initiative by the South Asian Institute is indeed a great preface in itself. And we look forward to sharing that notion. Now, this also counts like what kind of people you are associated with. This amazing video shows the importance of how associations and the friendships can play a big role in overcoming our fears and make us to move forward. So what do you learn from this video? This is a little video which target on how the children can be brought forward with motivation. So this is what we are looking forward, the type of support from colleagues that we need to look forward and cross the challenge, the channel of challenge, and come on to exploring active membership of professional organizations as a priority, and also comes as an ideal with reflection on executing your duties in the form of teaching, tutorials, and practicals with seminars and research work again comes as a priority, and we need to look forward with that very momentum. On the ideal affair, that teachers should be motivated to explore the learning opportunities without making faces. And then, of course, there has to be a learning, there has to be a preface, there has to be a connect on the go. Then the teachers need to also be cautious and always avoid plagiarism and other non-ethical behavior in teaching and research. Coming to the priority, they should be knowing, now this is related to the international boards, but as teachers, they need to look forward to, knowing about all the different boards of education and getting to know the information and what way they can prepare well for the learning. Then, of course, we need to also help them say happy going with the learning, with the structure of teaching and the platform they are using to deliver the learning goes a long way. Then for sure, we need to also look out that how best they are related to the community service. Now, various countries, various schools are actually imbibing these habits as a pleasure activity for the children, and they also learn so many new things. So that reflection goes with the priority of how best they're going to be ideally be treated and be given that spectrum of learning. Then for sure we have an ideal teacher who looks forward to the respect and the rights and the dignity of the student in expressing his or her opinion. So that comes with the preface on the move. Then for sure, as teachers, we need to deal with justly, and the students need to be given the task and be recognized no matter regardless of their religion, the caste, the gender, the political, economic, social, and even the physical characteristic which may define otherwise. On the lookout, we need to recognize the difference in attitude, the capabilities among students, and strive to meet their individual needs in a big way. So, as an ideal teacher, we need to encourage students to improve their attainments, develop their personalities, and at the same time, contribute to the community welfare. And that's so very important. That's so very important that while teaching, they need to be also told about, the awareness about the COVID protocols, the awareness about the scientific temper, the spirit of inquiry, and the ideals of democracy, patriotism, social justice, environmental protection, and the peace at large, which comes out to be of a great flavor to the students at large. Also, we need to help, counsel the parents how to take care of their wards in a big way. Then for sure, the mind map is a priority. The mind map activity helps these children to get to know about their relative learning or the learning takeaway when the course is over, when the module is over. And that's so very important. We need to look forward to that aspect as well. We need to help treat the students with dignity and not behave in a vindictive manner towards any of them for any reason. So that is something very much required for teachers. To be an ideal teacher, we need to pay attention to only the attainment of the students in the assessment of merit. We need to brief them, we need to honor their skills. We need to treat them with equality. And above all, we need to also look forward that make themselves available to the students even beyond the remedial classes. It becomes a priority, even helping the students to guide without any remuneration or a recognition or a reward in exchange. So as a teacher, we need to be ready reckoner to all the required, demands and the requirements at all times. Then for sure, we need to aid students to develop an understanding of our national heritage and the national goals. And that has to be told as a part of telling them about the sustainable development goals, for example, the zero waste, the quality education, telling them about the awareness, whether it is the human rights and everything that becomes a priority for all these educators. Then for sure, we need to refrain from inciting students against other students, the colleagues or the administration. These things should be avoided. You should not be igniting them, telling about other teachers and the habits and the precautions and other stuff. Then must not be involved in private coaching to his or her students, refrain from undertaking any other employment or commitment, including the private tuitions and coaching classes, which are likely to interfere with their professional responsibilities. So that's the concern we need to look forward to by guiding and by aiding to the professional requirements. Then for sure, we need to treat other members of the profession in the same manner as they themselves wish to be treated. And that's so very important in particular. Then for sure, we look forward to that expertise of rendering professional betterment. We should always be on a lookout for the idea to be better professionally, to be better, in all aspects, calibrating to the need and the ideas to be adjusted to the best. Then for sure there is an attribute of teaching and learning with reference to how we are going to be helping them refrain from making unsubstantiated allegations against colleagues to higher authorities. So we should not be, complaining, we should not be tattling, we should be busy with our own progress and our own personality with the spectrum of learning as a priority. And that is an ideal teacher, because the teacher that way will help out, refrain from allowing considerations of caste, creed, religion, race, or sex in their professional endeavor. And the priority has to be that we need to aim to be towards excellence in education. Well, as an ideal teacher, we need to also try to, discharge our professional responsibilities according to the existing rules and adhere to the procedures and methods which actually appear consistent with the professional, and they initiate steps through their own institutional bodies, professional organizations for change of any other such rule detrimental to the professional interest in particular. The idea is to cooperate with the authorities, the in charges, the coordinators, the vice principal, and try to reflect on learning together and delivering the responsibilities we have been brought in for. Then, as an ideal teacher, it is also a requisite to explore, about the terms of contract and give and expect due notice before you change your job or go to any other job. So that is again an ideal approach. Refrain from availing themselves like leave except on unavoidable grounds, like don't take that leave. Taking leave is your right. You need to respect your environment. You need to respect whether the child is going to suffer or the class is going to suffer if you take a leave without informing. So that has to be a priority. Unnecessary taking leaves should be avoided, because it could hamper the quality learning of your students in the school, what the purpose you're there. So that is again a priority. Treat the non-teaching staff as colleagues and equal partners in a cooperative undertaking within an educational institution. Everyone is important and it's all a teamwork. So remember, it's a wonderful work, a teamwork which we need to deliver, which we need to progress with the march of time. Also in view, we need to be very clear on the ideas of our being an ideal teacher. Refrain from taking part to assisting in a way which promotes hatred or enmity among the different communities. You should be neutral to these comments as an educator and try to work for the national integration. The mission and the vision of your school should be brought forward. Practice appreciation. Now, how you motivate children? Actually, you motivate your colleagues, you motivate your staff, you motivate yourself. These things matter a lot. And then the children enjoy your classroom, they enjoy your learning, they enjoy, and that is what is the priority we need to look forward to. Then for sure, teachers must also interact with students appropriately, not taking advantage of students in any way, like bullying them or putting them down. You need to motivate these students. You need to be after them that, oh, they are the best children in the world, and we have been doing wonders with them. So that has to be the approach, the priority at large, wherein they can do wonders. Then for sure, we are also looking forward to have an ideal teacher. Teachers must maintain ethical behavior and professional practice by accurately representing and maintaining certifications like all your degrees, which are required as a requisite, and we need to work with them. That has to be the priority in particular. Finish your all required degrees, diplomas, certificates, and there has to be a professional side of it where you need to continuously work for these learning on the move, whether you're learning online, whether you're learning physically there. With when disagreements arise between teachers, they must handle the disagreements in private and refrain from talking negative about colleagues in front of students. Now, this is an ideal stage where you discuss negative things about other colleagues. So please avoid this and sort it out in private so that the things are clear and there's nothing of that. Then, of course, contact with parents must be kept professional, free from arguments and physical contact, and make sure that you listen to them also. Document all their feedback about the child so that you can work on that child's case study. You know, the otherwise you don't know how the child is reacting at home, and the parents don't know how the child is reacting in the class. So you need to be documenting all relating information and exploring it to the best so that ideally the children enjoy learning in the classroom. Then for sure, a teacher's appearance plays a role in conveying professionalism. So dress to sense and comfort. Make sure you sense your presentation skills, the vocabulary you use in the class, and everything of that interest, works wonders. So that is the approach we need to look forward to. And of course, learning has to come with the march of time. Then dedicated teachers believe all students have the ability to learn and succeed. Lesson plans and the materials are thoughtfully chosen to help make that happen. So we need to redesign, rework. The pedagogy has to be changed with the march of time. We can't be teaching the same way. And of course, the learning has to come with the priority. The learning has to come as a priority, and both the teachers and the learners need to be prepared that they're going to be learning something new every day. And that comes with the prized notion of professionalism. Professional teachers strive to interact effectively with one another, and that is the ideal stage. That's the ideal way of working. That's the ideal way of delivering the class and also making it a possibility for all your stakeholders. So, as teachers, you need to generate your interest of being a learner for life, because you can't be delivering the same knowledge till years to come. That knowledge has to be unlearned, relearned, and then, of course, fashioned with new vocabulary to deliver the learning as a priority. Also, on the move, the teachers need to set high expectations not only for the students' behavior, but also for themselves. They need to also look out for, if they are teaching class 5 or teaching class primary, you need to be prepared for the junior and the middle school as well, because you don't know when the opportunities come to you and you can very well change that hat of being a primary teacher to a middle school teacher to a senior school teacher. So that priority, the readiness has to be there with you all the time, so that you're prepared for that very change, with the spectrum. Then for sure, very important that best practices and other appropriate teaching strategies should be effectively used in the classroom. And you need to look forward to, matching the standards whenever available. You need to be prepared to change to teach rather than teaching with the very old methodology. The way you were taught, I'm sorry, you cannot be teaching the way you were taught. If you're teaching the way you were taught in your yesteryears, I think you have to change this profession, because in that case, you're befooling the students in a big way. So that approach has to be attributed on the move. And then for sure, we have reflections using the fishbone diagram. We also have priorities on activities wherein, as a teacher educator, what counts as learning. This relates to taking a walk, writing letters, exercising, reading, coloring. All these things exhibit, activities which come to learning. And priorities as teachers need to be to help students, which is the first priority of every teacher. Then the second thing is dealing with parents. You should be happy to deal with parents with a positive note rather than criticizing the students. You should look out for good things in the students when you meet these parents. Always look out and deliver something great which you are featuring. Then for sure, you need to work with colleagues. So always be on a lookout that you enjoy those moments, and learning should come at the same time. Then interacting with administrators, by your managers, you need to be polite, you need to be open to learning, and follow the guideline of talking good about others. Then for sure, work ethics for educators, which include, through this video, I'll just explain that, and that will reflect a very good idea on the notion. Here it comes.
Hello everyone, channel and welcome to behavior based on the mandates of the Code of Ethics for Professionals to the community that they are into, and at the same time the ethical standards and the professional behavior of the teachers when they are dealing with the people in their community. Today, I'll be discussing Article 3 of the Code of Ethics for Professional Teachers. Let's have the Section 1 of the Article 3, and I will read it. Teacher is a facilitator of learning and the development of the youth, therefore shall render the best service by providing an environment conducive for such learning and growth. So this particular section would tell us about the role of a teacher, of the teachers as facilitators of learning. So I would like to capitalize the term facilitate or facilitator. When you facilitate something, then you make something a lot easier. So if the teachers are facilitators of learning, then the teachers are expected to make learning as easier as possible. So the teachers can make learning easier when they are able to simplify complex theories and complex explanations, and at that they are able to concretize abstract ideas. Because when you teach students abstract concepts and you are not teaching them the application of such to life, then they won't understand it. If you are teaching the students using the complex terminologies or the complex procedure that the book says, then you are not helping them understand the lesson. So if you become if you are a teacher, then you are a very good facilitator if you know how to simplify things for the students to understand, and you know how to concretize ideas which are difficult to understand. That is why your job later when you become teachers is to make things a lot easier for them, to make students understand the content that they have to understand. You let them enjoy while learning. You arouse their curiosity because of your skill in facilitating, and that you are able to give in exciting activities so that they will be able to participate in your discussion. You always have to remember that there are no difficult subjects, but there are teachers who are difficult to understand, and that there are no boring subjects, but there are boring teachers. So when you become teachers, make sure that you have developed this facilitating skill so the students would learn the best way possible. And another thing I would like to share, when you become teachers and half ng mga estudyante mo failed, okay, your class, you do not have the right to be happy. You do not have the right to rejoice, because the failure of your students is also your failure. Because based on observation, there are some teachers who are happy if the students fail the subject because they think that the subject is too difficult. Okay, and if the subject is too difficult, the teacher is happy, and if the students do not understand him, the teacher would say, oh, that's how difficult my subject is, that's how high my standard is. But that is a wrong practice. Okay, you have to make sure that you teach them what you have to teach them, that they understand whatever it is that they have to understand, and that when evaluation comes, they will pass. And if the students pass, it means you facilitated the learning very well. Okay? Next. Another thing that I would like to capitalize on that particular section is that the teacher should make the classroom conducive to learning. Because students really learn best in a pleasant environment. So the environment is pleasant when the physical climate is okay, like it's well ventilated, well lighted, the chairs are properly arranged, the structure is okay, may hangin, presko, hindi maingay. It's the physical climate. And more than that, you have to make sure that the psychological climate is a lot better. The students are loved in the classroom, they are accepted, there is no room for bullying, okay? The competition is healthy, that they and that they do not need to be afraid when they commit mistakes, because yung atmosphere that you created would allow them to commit mistakes and would learn something from it. That then is a very good classroom that is conducive to learning. The second section says, leadership and initiative of the professional teacher to participate in the community movements for moral, social, economic, and civic betterment of the community. This section will tell us about teachers' leadership and initiative for community participation. So, meaning, since you are part of the community, then you have to live harmoniously with the people in the community. So if there are programs in the municipality, as a teacher, you have to join such program, okay? And because in the community, the teachers are considered to be intellectual leaders, then you have to make sure that you always offer your help for the betterment of a certain society, of the program that it implements, activity that the society implements, and that because you are the intellectual leader in the community, then you expect, okay, that you'll be considered or you'll be invited as coach or as a judge, and you'll be considered as a nurse and a doctor at the same time, kasi pag may nagkasakit sa school, ikaw ang pupuntahan. Pag kailangan ng first aid, ikaw ang pupuntahan. So in reality, teachers really are all around, okay? You are not just teachers by profession, you're also you can also be other professionals. You can be a nurse, you can be a doctor, you can be a judge in a beauty pageant or in a cheer dance competition. You can become a speaker in a certain seminar that the community was implement. Okay, so marami pong trabaho ang mga teachers. That's why the teachers are considered to be jack of all trades. Okay.
Now, as a nutshell, we look forward, and this is taken from one of the ministry's website, which talks about teachers shall require to be punctual in attending to the duties in a school, always teach the curriculum And of course, after making through preparation for lessons to be taught, treat all students with love, affection, and just and impartial to the respective of caste, creed, sex, status, religion, language, and the place of birth. So that talks about the teacher's relationship with students, which comes out to be of a great importance. We should refrain from divulging confidential information about students, refrain from inciting students against other students, teaching, administration, respect, basic humanity, and then above all, we need to seek to establish cordial relationship with parents, guardians, provide information regularly to the parents through the almanac, through the diaries, refrain from doing anything which may underdetermine the students' confidence in their parents or guardians. Also, in reflect, their teachers need to strive to develop the educational institutions as a community and human resource development center on the move, and respect their country's culture and develop positive attitudes, the attributes towards the students, respect, and to be loyal to the school. That is very much required. And then above all, the teachers need to treat other members of the profession with the same attribute. Teachers in relation to professional colleagues and other professional organizations, except as a professional and individual responsibility of reporting to the concerned authorities. That's so very important. We need to connect. We need to go in, with the very practice being shared in the community. We need to also adopt professional membership, participate as a part of a formulation of policies, and also reflect on the idea how best we are going to be defining and reflecting in that process as well. The teachers shall recognize the management as a prime source of sustainable development, and we need to respect the management for that reason, and also develop mutual respect and trust through this professional activities and the outputs. And this is related to the 10 code of professional ethics for teachers with the school education. The link is given below. You can even go for further reading for that reference. Also on the move, the work ethics for teachers need to be reflected as an idea, as a priority. And this comes out to be the references which connects to that level of learning with the teachers, with the colleagues, with the parents, and all what relate to learning as a priority. And that signifies, now I come to the question answer session, just in case somebody has, we'll take it forward in relation to defining the ethics for computing and the reflection to be measured in the best of the possible ways. So I have around 8 to 10 minutes to answer queries from the side of the teachers. You can even write in the chat mode and I'll be happy to answer uh, whatever is being asked for. So now I'm open to queries. I'm open in the chat board and you can always reflect on your ideas. Anything you want to share, anybody wants to, come across to what has been shared. So it's before we pass on and invite our guests from Bangladesh and Nepal, I will be happy to answer few queries. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I invite even to our Mr. Kumar Karnatna, principal of the Sri Lankan Middle School, to coordinate the discussion. Mr. Kumar Karnatna, he is the principal of the,
Okay, thank you very much for invitation me. The part of the lecture, I would have the chance to participate. Mr. Our guest speaker, Mr. J, I can't remember the name because I met one day at our school with Mr. Kamalgode.
Yeah,
If, yes. So your book is very important for I distribute it to the library, and even I get the notice that the more than 21 no the jobs that available.
yeah.
Then there he gave the opportunity for you to ask any question. So anybody else, please, before we conduct the lesson, what we summarize this, what we heard today. Now you get that opportunity, our students. Hello. Hello.
Any student can switch on your mic and you can ask question, or you can give your ideas.
Yeah. Okay. I asked the question, right, Mr.
Yeah.
Dheeraj? He explained, right? I asked the question from the students. Please, one of you define what's the ethics, the teacher's ethics, or the broad concept of ethics. Not only for the teacher's ethics. I asked, what's the meaning of ethics? You participate. Yes. I think there are no questions. What to do?
No worries. You can give your deliberation, at least, what the observation you made out of this session, so that others can get to know, or you can explain something in the Sri Lankan language so that they take it away best way.
All right. මේ ඔබතුමාලගෙන් ඔතුමේලගේ ඉල්ලා සිටිනවා මේ සිංහලෙන් හරි කමන්නේ ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින් ඔයගලට අහන්න ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා නම් මොකද මේ ඉතා වටිනා දේශනයක් එතුමා කරේ ඒ නිසා අපිට පුළුවන් ට්‍රාන්ස්ලේට් කරලා දෙන්න කමල්ගොඩ මහත්තයාත් ඉන්නවා මේ මොනවා හරි තියෙන එක ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා නම් අහන්න පුළුවන් ඔයගලන්ට දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නවනේ වෛද්‍යවරුන්ටත් තියෙනවා code of ethics lawyers ලටත් තියෙනවා හැමෝටම තියෙනවා teachers ලටත් තියෙනවා he explained that the Indian I think that law some restrictions or what are the duties and rights of the teachers ඒකිනුත් ඔයගලන්ට පුළුවන් ලංකාවෙත් තියෙනවා මේ පාසල් වල ගුරුවරුන්ට මේට අවුරුදු මම හිතන්නේ 10කට විතර ඉස්සෙල්ලා මේ ටීචර්ස් ලගේ චර්යා ධර්ම කියලා පොඩි පොතක් තියෙනවා. ඒක සිංහල ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින් දෙකෙන්ම තියෙනවා. දැන් එතුමා විස්තර කරා ටීචර්ස් ලගේ එක යුතුයකමක් තමයි මේ දේශීය වශයෙන් ඒ අනන්‍යතාවය ආරක්ෂා කරන්න the patriotism ඒකත් ටීචර්ස් ලට තියෙන වගකීමක්. හරි මට ඇහුණා කවුරු හරි ප්‍රශ්නයක් අහනවා. හරි අහන්න බලන්න. Any question?
Do you have any questions to switch on the mic or to open the to ask question, Dilma? And can you switch on your mic? And Vasini, Avishka, Chatu, can you switch on your mic? Niranjala, is there any Nirosha? You continue, Kumar sir.
Okay. So I have some question, Mr. Dheeraj. So are you here? Hello. Hello.
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah, please.
All right. Okay. So tell me, then we have some not verbal, right? The inverbal communication, the language, the sign and all that. how that it influence for the culturally, the sometimes we have some actions, right? Gesture and all that. Are there any example? Do you have?
Yes, well, in our new education policy, we have started using the sign language. So the
Yeah.
sign language is being used and defined in the schools now, and it has been made compulsory in our schools to get in connect with all the people around. And also, we have started local languages as a part of delivery. Apart from English and Hindi, we are also restricting, delivery of our content to not only the Hindi and the English, but also to the local languages. So every state government will have a delivery for class 1 to 5 and preferably class 1 to 8 in their local language. And the sign language is being made mandatory now for all the schools. There is going to be a training program very soon for the sign language to be implemented in the best of the possible ways. So that's an add-on.
Right. I ask this way. If I show you, I don't know either. Can you? Here, some country. Yes. Some countries like here, some countries like that. Or this like that. Rather so. But it sometimes the culturally it affect sometimes positively or negatively. Then how in that situation as a global teacher. So it is, I think, better to understand the sign, no, unless otherwise sometimes it get positively the moral questions, no.
Very true, very true. I agree with you, and for that reason, I think we need to update ourselves with the international format of delivery of this type of a sign language, and we need to work on that preface as well in a big way.
Right. Thank you very much. Right. Okay. Right. Are there any questions for others? Hello.
Bangladesh Principal Minister Hassin, you also can join for the discussion.
Yes.
Before we start your lecture, you also can share your idea about his doctor lecture. Switch on, Mr. Hassin. Bangladesh friend, can you switch on your mic? We can't hear. Doctor, can you give the permission to mic on, switch on the mic?
Just a minute, just a minute. I think
you are the host, therefore you have to give the permission.
Okay. I'll just do that.
Niroshan and Angela, then now you check, now you can ask questions. Nisanti, Shiromi Dandaniya? Miss Shiromi Dandaniya? Yeah. Mr. Jisan, now can you switch on your mic? Yeah.
Yeah, you can speak now.
Bangladesh friend.
Yes.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, please?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. and Mrs. Pageant, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning and assalamu alaikum. How are you, everybody?
Alaikum salam.
Lovely to see you here today. We are having very important discussion over today. Thank you very much, Janaka sir, Mr. Dheeraj sir, and other members, other present here. Actually, today's discussion, presentation presented by Dr. Dheeraj Joshi sir is very fruitful and important discussion for for being an ideal teacher. I think actually always today discussion is very fruitful. Actually, our discussions was ethics of a teacher, code of ethics in the teaching profession. Actually, we know it is widely accepted that education is master key to the rapid social, economic, and political development of a nation. Thus, it is a sure process of developing the citizenry cognitively, effectively, and psychomotively. The teacher is the reward on which the educational process rests. In fact, no educational system can rise behind the training, constant skill development for our teachers. Teaching is a process of transferring knowledge from the teacher to the learner for the sake of changing behavior and skill acquisition. We know teacher must model strong character traits, including perseverance, honesty, respect, lawfulness, fairness, patience, and unity. As an educator, teacher must treat every student with kindness and respect without showing any favoritism, prejudice, and partiality. The code of teaching consists of 4 basic values. I think dignity, truthfulness, fairness, and responsibility and freedom. All teaching is founded on the whether it be the teacher-student relationship is very important. Dignity for students. Dignity means actually we know respect for humanity. Teachers must maintain ethical behavior in his or her class. Conduct guardians physically or by over phone or distance, but he has to maintain this to develop his or her students. Actually, from present by attending this session, I came to know everything how to develop our teaching style, the role of educators, and how to develop our students by morality or carrying responsibility to develop and match with our new smart learning teaching system. Actually, but I'm facing very much problem in our area. We know because we are not getting good quality of teachers. Good quality teachers, dedicated teacher, and ideal teacher. But we are trying our best to reshape to
Yeah,
train
Mr. Hachin.
an
Yeah,
teacher.
Mr. Hachin.
Yes,
Can you
sir.
give me can you give me 1 minute? Because
Yes,
we
sir.
want, yeah, because we want to thanks Dr. Dheeraj because he want to attend the another discussion.
Yes, sir.
Therefore, we can we want to thanks to him. Then after that we can continue our discussion. Mr. Kumar sir.
This. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Wait 1 minute, then you can continue. I think Mr. Kumar Karnan, then we have to give the chance to Dr. Dheeraj to attend another meeting.
Yes,
we
sir.
want thanks for him because for his valuable contribution to our students. And I think you hope to give your ideas, Mr. Kumar Karnan.
Okay, thank you very much for opportunity for thanks, Mr. Dheeraj. I think according to my the view or just I get some some the close relationship, not much close relationship, but in a way his books and how he deliver his speech and what are the guidelines, his community relationship, and there are so many his moral values, right? So we can get a lot of advantage from him. Not only the India, not only Sri Lanka, but also all the world, right? Therefore, in this discussion, if I say the ethics is very important for any group of people, any businessman, any teachers, any occupation. So he delivered, I think, in a short, within a short period, very much guidelines. Then our responsibility is we have to follow all these things, enhance our knowledge. That is the gratitude that we can give him. Right. Thank you very much for participating, the sacrificing his valuable time on behalf of the institution of higher education, international education, the Mr. Janak Kamalgoda and the students and our lecturers. I am very grateful and thank Mr.
Thank you.
Dheeraj. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Janaka. Thank you.
Yeah.
And thank you, everybody. God bless.
Yeah, and I want to ask from you one question. I think I saw a good book from you about regarding the ethics of the teachers. How
Yeah.
can we buy, and can you introduce something about your book?
Yeah, I will share the link with you on Amazon. It is available in India, right? So I'll share that link with you.
Yeah, all the students, you have a chance to get a good knowledge, more knowledge about the ethics of the teachers from his book. Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you
thank
very much, Dr.